So, Mr. Simpson, you have quite an amazing career. You've worked on Game of Thrones from behind the scenes. You have an amazing comic series called Vamps, which I would really love to see on the big screen sometime. Hopefully. I would like to ask you just three questions for our listeners. So, what artists or comic series have been significant influences on your work?
I think probably Conan the Barbarian. I remember reading it from the Barry Smith days all the way through, and I think it's just been one of those amazing stories with the most incredible artwork. And for me, that was just it. And it's like all my life, it's always been that thing that you wanted to do. Conan. I ended up doing Game of Thrones, which for me was as close to Conan as I could get, which is all swords and sorcery.
True. So, could you share some of your favorite comic projects you've been working on and what made them stand out for your creativity?
I think something like Judge Dredd, Rogue Trooper, and probably Hellblazer and Vamps were all things that I liked working on, as well as Batman. For me, the thing about Judge Dredd was it was the pinnacle of British comics. If you got to do Judge Dredd, it felt like you'd suddenly become an artist. And the greatest thing about Rogue Trooper was it was a self-contained story with Dave Gibbons writing it, and I got to paint the book, and so it ended up being like an 82-page graphic novel type thing, except it ran in 2008 first, got reprinted a bunch of times, and then doing Hellblazer for DC Comics, it was my first big thing to do, which it turned out led on to the movie and so on. The story that I first worked on became the basis for the feature film, so that was cool. And then I love doing Vamps with Elaine Lee because we created Vamps and it became such a great story to work on. Her sensibility was totally unique, and she was one of the only women in comics at the time. A lot of women were working as colorists and things, but Elaine was a writer, a fully fledged writer that was writing the most interesting of stories. So she was way before any movement. Anyway, brilliant. She was brilliant to work with. So Vamps, was pretty cool because it was ours. As to it ever becoming a movie, we got offered the chance of it being a movie twice from two Hollywood companies, but DC and Warner Brothers, nope.
How come?
We don't know. It was a money-making comic. We have no idea. Maybe Warner Brothers didn't want it to go out there. Who knows? But it is, because it's owned within the confines of DC and Warner Brothers. So I don't know. But two Hollywood companies, we could have had one or two movies. It would have been good. Hopefully.
But
the thing is, there was a German movie made that was about vampires, and it's actually pretty good. Very like our characters. There's even a whole sequence at the beginning where they kill a load of people on a plane and leap out of the plane. So the thing is, we did that in the comic books. Yeah. Oh man, it was so frustrating seeing that and realizing our stuff could translate. Yeah.
So it could translate really well. Yeah. And there's a massive market for
I think so. Vampires never die.
Yeah. They really don't. So.
And they don't sparkle.
So, one last question. What do you enjoy most about attending events like Malta Comic Con? And how does interacting with fans influence your work?
Attending any convention is interesting, mostly though because it's the socializing aspect of it. You end up seeing your friends that are artists and writers and so on, and you meet new ones, and you make friendships at conventions that last. They're good. Other than that, I have no idea what they do for anything to do with it. I take lots of photographs at conventions just because I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by people, and because of the nature of the work that we do, people are really important within our comics. So it's kind of interesting because you see types and you see characters, and they're all lodged in your head. They become something that somewhere down the line you might find yourself picking out of them. But the other thing is it annoys all my friends because I get to go to interesting places and they're stuck at home in Belfast.
It's amazing, Mr. Simpson. It's been amazing having you.